I really enjoyed Jungle Moon, but it was a rocky start, partially because Lars of the Stars left me disappointed, and partially because the transition from the prior episode to this one did not make chronological sense. At the end of Lars of the Stars, Lars realizes the Star Skipper has been hit, and cries out in worry, and the episode cuts to black.
Steven? Connie? No!
Then, Jungle Moon begins with the Star Skipper plummeting toward the nearby moon, and Lars contacts Stevonnie without even being aware that they're in trouble.
That did it! Emerald is on the run!
Lars! We're hit! Nothing's working!
It's almost like the writers/storyboarders for the two episodes didn't have a chance to communicate between each other to make a clean transition or something. It was quite jarring for me. But overall, this is a tiny nitpick in regards to Jungle Moon, because I thought this was a great episode. From the moment the Star Skipper hits a gigantic flower, I was already appreciating the diverse color scheme chosen to paint the foreign jungle world. I consider alien ecosystems in visual media really hit and miss design-wise. For example, I consider the Pandora film more on the creatively bankrupt side, though the creature design is still by far the best thing about that terrible movie. Then there's things like the animation short Scavengers, which aired on Adult Swim a while ago, which I considered to be an absolutely phenomenal alien jungle world. A lot of the survival scenes in Jungle Moon actually reminded me a little bit of Scavengers, and I was urged to go back and rewatch it after this episode. Seriously, Scavengers is so good, please go take the time to watch it. Even if you don't enjoy the concept, it's 8 minutes of gorgeous visuals and animation. But I'm getting really distracted here. Let's move away from the Scavengers plug and return to Steven Universe. The point I was trying to make before I got carried away was that the alien jungle in this episode gets a thumbs up from me. I really enjoyed Stevonnie's first interaction with an organic alien. It was cute, and I liked the way it steeled Stevonnie's resolve on surviving until Lars finds them. It was a great segue into a montage that contains not just moments of survival, but also moments of fun and joy. Maybe I'm just a sucker for survival scenarios where not everything is doom and gloom, but nonetheless, this might just be my favorite montage of the whole Steven Universe series thus far. Watching Stevonnie set up a makeshift shelter in a storm, and then shave with their sword was such a wonderful moment. This is likely the first time Steven or Connie have had to learn to shave, and what a fancy way to face the stepping stone of adolescence, by using Rose Quartz's sword. It was great. I wouldn't have minded even more of these sorts of scenes, but it was kept short and sweet, and I can appreciate that also. The episode transitions away from a survival theme after Stevonnie is chased by some aggressive alien life to a familiar tower that has long been abandoned and ravaged by nature. I never anticipated for this particular episode to give us backstory on the diamonds, but here we are. Stevonnie's dream somehow reveals what happened at this very location thousands of years ago, though due to Connie's presence, the dream takes on aspects from her life as well. Actually, that description is probably an understatement, as the dream starts off in Connie's home, with Yellow Diamond being represented by Dr. Maheshwaran. I loved this creative touch, which serves not only to build suspense and intrigue, but also reminds us of the imprint left on Connie due to her upbringing, and how severe it actually is. There was some really awesome visual and sound design present in this scene.
There'll be no more excuses. Get it done.
So, lore-wise, Yellow Diamond apparently had to pressure a gem called nephrite into destroying the organic life on the surface of a planet, which I don't believe nephrite was ever mentioned before, so that's pretty interesting. Seems like interest in organic life was not just unique to Rose Quartz as far as homeworld history goes. Seems like other gems have had a soft spot for organic life, or at least an interest in studying it. Will we see or hear of nephrite in the future? I am an eager beaver to find out. As Dr. Maheshwaran transitions into appearing more like Yellow Diamond, Stevonnie undergoes a transformation as well, though not a physical one. Instead, they take on mannerisms and behaviors unlike their own, and the big reveal is that they transitioned into acting the part of a young pink diamond. So yeah, wow. Wowie wow wow wow. The 4 diamonds were already an established hierarchy back at this moment in time, since we see all 4 colored diamonds on the control panel, but apparently Pink hung out at Yellow's side and did not have her own armada or her own colonized worlds yet. Which raises the question, could Earth perhaps have been Pink's first world that was given to her? It's obviously not random that the relationship between a strict busy mother and her child were made analogous to the relationship between Yellow and Pink. Could Pink have been formed late relative to her sisters, or emerged late, and thus they did not trust her with the responsibilities until they felt she was mature enough to handle them? That's the impression I get, which of course just makes one's mind wonder about the creation of the diamonds in general, about how Gemkind came to be in the first place. There are so many questions and so many new plot lines that this stream opens up. We're now starting to form what I feel to be like a foundation or a backbone to view the course of Gem history and the peculiar dynamics behind the rebellion, not just the backstory, but the actual dynamics at play. We now have more of an understanding of the relationship between the diamonds too, and this may prove essential when the court case gets a follow-up. Could one of the diamonds have played a part in Pink's demise because they didn't trust her capabilities or had personal beef with her? There's a lot of mystery here, a lot of intrigue left to explore. There's plenty to get excited about. The ability to witness the past when sleeping is something that definitely comes from Steven. I don't think it's an emergent property of Stevonnie or anything, and while it's a little convenient, it's not at all out of the spectrum of powers Steven already exhibited, so I don't have any problem with this new flavor of ability spontaneously triggering. To me, it really looks like Steven will play a huge role and be at the center of everything because of these types of abilities, these ones specifically. He is capable of reading emotions and witnessing the past, and thus this gives him the ability to piece the puzzle together that nobody else can, at least from what we've seen. That's at least my prediction of what role Steven will play in the eventual breakdown of Homeworld rule. I did think it was a little silly, though, how Stevonnie somehow set up camp and went to sleep right below a mural of Yellow Diamond, and failed to notice that until they woke up. But, you know, it's fine. They could have easily fixed this by just having the mural be in a different room after Stevonnie decided to look around the tower for clues, but whatever. So yeah, turns out this particular moon has a moon base just like Earth's moon did, although somehow life from the now deceased colonized planet managed to make its way to the planet's moon and continue to survive there. Stevonnie uses the base's command controls to contact Lars, he appears in time to save Stevonnie from an angry bird blob, and all is good. As far as small nitpicks go, I did consider it kinda ludicrous how Lars fires the blasters directly at the moon base and straight up hits it when trying to save Stevonnie. Like, it's a decrepit relic from thousands of years ago. What if those lasers managed to pierce through the window paneling and hit Stevonnie and killed them? Rescue mission turned manslaughter, that would be. But yeah, like, aside from very small minor nitpicks, I've got absolutely nothing to criticize with this episode. Jungle Moon was a really engaging, fun, and interesting episode. Episodes like this are prime Steven Universe real estate, and I wish we could have more like these. It was great. So, now that this review is over, I think I am gonna go ahead and start working on a video about Scavengers. I've left a link to the animation in the description, so please follow that and check Scavengers out if you haven't seen it. It's only 8 minutes long, and trust me, your time will be well spent. Plus, it'll allow you to watch the next video I plan to upload on this channel, so go watch Scavengers, everyone.